We are talking about what will we do if we were to take over Star Wars. And Nick, you had a lot of sort of thought behind the why, and I kind of put a little bit more of an approach to the what. And I felt like this was my one chance, now that Kathleen has given us the reins, to be Kathleen as she was on that investor day in November 2020. I have a year by year plan. Let me share that with you all. There we go. Okay. Starting in 2025. So January 1st, I'll tell you the first thing we're going to do. And
I'm already on board. I'm
going to make Around the Galaxy or ATGLive, either one or two, some variant thereof, the official Star Wars fan talk show. And not just because, hey, we are the best show out there. And yeah, I'll say it. Bring it on. Come on. But because Star Wars needs that. Star Wars sorely misses and does not recognize how important the Star Wars show was. The show with Carboni and Andy
Gutierrez.
Was such an important show, not just because it was fun and it was something to look forward to, but it kind of controlled the news. It controlled the tone. Right now, Star Wars Conversation is owned by us. It's owned by Star Wars Theories. It's owned by Geeks and Gamers. It's owned by Star Wars Explained. Star Wars has a YouTube channel that's basically just clips and some of their behind the scenes stuff. So
and that's no shade to Kristen Baver and This Week in Star Wars, because it's great, but it's not all the time. It's a different. Yeah, it's gone. It was a different thing than what, Andy.
But even bring that back, I would be happy with that. Yeah. But they need to take control of the Star Wars noise that's out there. So, yeah, look, we're ready. We have the graphics ready. Just give us a call. We'll take it on.
Yep.
We're going to get Andor, the final season, in 2025. I'm also going to put out another Young Jedi Adventures season in 2025 because I think it's important to keep that group there, and I want to give Greg Iwinski some work. The other thing that I'm going to launch next year is Star Wars Legends, the animated series. Ooh. And this is going to take some of the stuff that the people who feel like their Star Wars was now which is now Legends and decanonized. I own that as a fan, and you do. I mean, people who love that. Let's give it to them in the form of Star Wars Legends, the animated series. Give us some Mara Jade and Luke Skywalker story. Take them straight from the books and give us an animated series that gives us some of those stories in that format. So that's just year one, Nick. Yeah.
I just want to tell you.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be able to see this. There it is.
Yeah.
Straight from the man himself, Greg Iwinski, season 3. He's on board.
Yep. All right. So we got Greg on it. Okay, good. So he's going to, if he keeps watching, he's going to like some of the stuff I got to come down. So that's 2025. It's still,
there's a cool shipyard story coming in here somewhere.
That's right. No movies in 2025, but 2026 we know we're going to get The Mandalorian and Grogu. So we'll keep that as our marquee event of 2026. We're going to bring you a second season of Star Wars Legends, the animated series. We're going to commit to multiple seasons when we do things. And we'll find different stories and maybe even have some fun with the Around the Galaxy, the official Star Wars fan talk show. Tell us which stories you want to hear or want to see, and we'll put them together in animated form. Again, animation is a much better bet. The cost is not as high by any.
I want the one where Luke falls in love with the girl who's trapped in the computer.
Nick, we'll do that one for you. We'll put that one together. And we're also going to have Ahsoka, the final season. It's only going to be a 2-season run. But the thing here is it's going to tie directly to The Mandalorian and Grogu. In fact, I haven't decided yet if it's going to come out before Mando and Grogu or after. But the connection will be there. It's going to tie all those stories together in both the theatrical experience and the final season of Ahsoka. You'll note only 3 things coming out that year. So this is my plan for 26.
Like it.
27 things get a little bit fun, a little bit different, a little bit big idea. And when you said Lando, a Star Wars story, I laughed because that's what I had on my
there
screen.
It is.
Boom. Let's make it happen. And yes, let's make it a direct sort of connection to what we saw of Lando in Solo, but let's make it its own standalone movie. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm going to give you your third season of Star Wars Legends because I know that will be a very popular show. And Carson Teva leading Rangers of the New Republic. This show is going to be a limited series.
For this.
It's going to be a limited series, a 1-season series. We're going to commit to that. It's going to be a beginning and end. Since it's the only live action other than the movie, it's going to be a 12-episode series. And it's going to make that connection between the end of Mandalorian and Grogu and the beginning of The Force Awakens. And that's the job of that show. And Young Jedi fantastic. Adventures Season 4 will also hit in 2027. But we're still going. We're only 3 years into my plan. 2028, we're going to thin things out a little bit more because now that we're going into the theaters with a major tentpole, we're going to go in with the new Jedi Order starring Daisy Ridley, and it's going to be the thing that we focus on in 2028. We're going to do the Burger King tie-ins. We're going to do the whole thing. We're going to go full in on a major Star Wars movie coming out. The other thing that we're going to do is we're going to launch season 1 of Chronicles of the High Republic. And I'm debating whether we're going to go animated or live action. I'm feeling like we're going to go animated because I feel like the audience for High Republic is still not there. And I do feel some of the best Star Wars stories, Clone Wars, Rebels, are told in animation. So let's do the service to the High Republic stories and let's do it all in animation. So that's 28. Big year because it's going to be the Rey movie, the one everybody's waiting for.
Yep. So and I like that you've isolated it that way to put the attention on it. And that goes back to what KG just said. Better overall with PR. Let the focus for your Lucasfilm PR that year. All new Jedi Order all the time. Happy Meals, tennis shoes, T-shirts.
Yep.
Emerald, pistachios, whatever it is. Label it up. Let's go.
Exclusives in EW, the whole thing.
Yep.
29. Here's the one that we've all been waiting for. Solo 2 will finally happen. Wow. And Sean Levy, the guy who just did Deadpool and Wolverine, is the perfect guy to make Solo 2 happen. He has that sort of sensibility. He's not quite as out there as the Lego directors, Frank Miller and doesn't
Chris
matter.
Lord.
I can't remember. Right. No, the guys
Lord
who did. But let's give Sean Levy Solo 2. Let's close that story. And Lando can be right in the middle. And yes, so we're going to make Solo 2 happen. We're also going to give you season 2 of the Chronicles of High Republic. That's what 29 is going to be. You'll note that we are being very conservative with the amount of content, just like you were saying, Nick. Make Star Wars special, right? Yeah. There'll probably be a Lego show here or there. Yep, but that's where we're going with that. All right, we're hitting about the halfway point here in 2030, and this is the next big announcement. Not only are we giving the trilogy to Rian Johnson, we're giving him 3 movies, and they're going to be episode 10, 11, and 12, and it's going to be all him. It's not going to be one of these one-off, and then, hey, let's see if JJ wants to. Who's the new Taika Waititi? You want to do a movie? Yeah, go ahead. Sure. No, it's Rian Johnson's trilogy, episode 10, 11, and 12, and it's going to come out in 2030. We're going to keep that High Republic thing going because we've committed to it. We're not just going to throw it in for one season. We're going all in. So that will be the big announcement of 2030. 2031, I'm going to launch a brand new live action series because we will have gone several years without a live action series if Chronicles of High Republic is animated. And it's going to be called Kyber and Beskar, and it is the story of Tarre Vizsla, the original Jedi Mandalorian. And it's going to be epic. It's going to have
it could be Game of Thrones vibes.
Exactly. Maybe if Benioff and Weiss want to come back, we'll take them. But it's going to be that kind of thing. It's going to be a 2-season. Again, we know it's going to be 2 seasons. It's going to be 24 episodes. And it is going to have a beginning. It's going to have an end.
And we're going to get all of those episodes in 2031?
No, we're gonna get season 1 of 2. Only
Oh,
season
1
1.
of 2. I'm sorry. I
Yes,
read that
that's
as
right.
1 and 2. 1 of
Nope.
2. Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
And we're gonna have mythosaurs. We're gonna have the whole thing. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge. Huge. People are gonna love it. So that's going to be your 2031. No movie this year, but because there's no movie, this show, this epic show, is going to have the attention and gravitas of our movie release for that year. And again, we've committed to a total of 5 5 seasons of Chronicles of the High Republic. So our 4th one will hit in 2031. The final season of Chronicles of the High Republic will hit in 2032, and episode 11 will finally hit from Rian Johnson. 2 years later, we're going to do the 2-year spacing. 2033, 1 year before the end of my reign, we will have our final season of Kyber and Beskar. It's going to be, again, as epic, but again, a planned ending. It's going to tell a full story. And like you said about an animated movie or a movie for Disney Plus, I'm going to create an animated movie for Disney Plus called A Droid Story, which they had pitched last year. And there they are, R5D4 and R2D2. I don't know what the movie's going to be about, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun Star Wars in animated form. And it's going to be created for Disney Plus. And again, much like Netflix, it'll be in theaters for a week and a half.
Ooh,
and
here's one.
Yeah.
Here's a curveball as I invade your ideas. Get Pixar to do it.
Love it. Yep. Okay. Yep. An animated movie for Pixar by Pixar for Disney Plus. I love that.
Pixar Star Wars movie.
Okay. That's a winner right there. And that's because we've slowed up on the Young Jedi Adventures.
Yep.
There's a way to bring the kids back in because we're going to need that. And then in the final year, my final year before I retire as president of Lucasfilm, I'm going out big and I'm going out focused. I am going to just release the last Star Wars movie in the numbered series, Rian Johnson's last Star Wars movie. Episode 12 will be the sole focus of 2034. We'll do all kinds of fun things on Disney Plus in the year leading up to it, but that will be our primary focus, and that will be my Star Wars run. That's much like Kathleen has said she wants to go out on a high note. That's the high note that I'm going to go out on. This trilogy, which will close out the numbered Star Wars series, will finally bring the whole fandom back together. They'll all be on board. And that'll be it. And then I'll